Proceedings in the class action lawsuit against 4 banks were halted in the Johannesburg High Court on Tuesday. This as an attorney representing over 200 litigants was found not to have the required Fidelity Fund certificate. Douglas Shaw promised to submit it this morning, paving way for the case to get underway. The claimants are seeking 60 billion rand from the country's top banks over repossessed homes. Ziniko Mhlaba has joined us and is on this story then for us. I mean, it was a surprising development yesterday. It was a hint that had been given to the opposing counsel for First Rand that they found out that this certificate wasn't actually in place for 2026. Do we have a reason for why that was, Ziniko?
A very good morning, Arabile. Well, from what we've heard what we heard during the conversations between the judge and, of course, Mr. Shaw himself, when the judge was probing why Mr. Shaw did not possess that certificate, to the extent that, he went to as far as appearing before this particular High Court without communicating that he does not have that certificate. Well, Mr. Shaw did not really give a clear answer when he was probed in terms of not updating the opposing counsels, not updating the judge herself in terms of the status of his certificate. However, eventually when he was really pushed, he did say that certificate is still pending. He also then went as far as committing, in that open court, that certificate will be in the hands of the judge and the opposing counsel today before 9 o'clock. So we're counting down to the end of that particular deadline that was given by the judge. And the judge was very, not so impressed, Arabile, lacking of a better way of describing how frustrated she was, saying that she had never experienced something like that before, where a counsel would be so brave to appear before court knowing that he does not or she does not have that particular certificate. And we're talking about a very important certificate, Arabile, a certificate that you must have if you are going to handle any court or any case that has to do with the monies of the members of the public, whether we're talking about through a trust, whether we're talking about compensation. So it's even worse in this case because we're talking about a class action, and you know that if you are handling or if you are appearing on behalf of individuals who are pursuing a class action, you must also have a trust account where those funds, in a moment where you win a particular case, those funds must be deposited into that trust before they make their way to the individual. So we also find out yesterday that he also does not even have that trust. So these are the issues that are really concerning. So let's take a listen to Mr. Shaw to answer your question, Arabile, in terms of how he was responding in court when he was probed by the opposing counsel, but most importantly, responding to the questions of the judge.
Obviously, I realise that it's a problem what's in Fidelity Fund certificate. We did have a Fidelity certificate up to the end of January because we've had an extension, because we've been working with the LPC since September last year to try and confirm our Fidelity Fund status. We were expecting to have actually had a Fidelity Fund certificate by now. There's been talk amongst the accountants and the LPC to say, sure, it should certainly be done by this date. We have not been going to court in any other way. So today, having I would come to court and let you maybe know that I did not have a Fidelity Fund certificate.
That is Mr. Douglas Shaw representing the litigants. So as I said earlier on, that we're counting down to that 9 o'clock deadline, and the judge did warn that should he not, finish the court with that certificate, disciplinary actions can be taken against him, which include the suspension of his practice, at least for now, in this particular matter. So we'll speak in the next hour or so about the consequences then and the impact that would have on the actual case itself. We did talk to the litigants who had appointed Mr. Shaw in terms of what will be their plan B. They said, well, the proceedings and the case is not going to be affected. They are going to ensure that they are legally represented in these particular hearings, which are taking place today and tomorrow as the last day. So that's what we are going to be finding out in the next hour or so before we start with the official proceedings at 10 o'clock following the announcement whether Mr. Shaw did finish the court with that certificate or not.
Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you so much for bringing us that. Of course, another one we will continue to follow today, another turn in that 60 million rand lawsuit being put then against the 4 major banks.